Michael Klim, absolutely fantastic bloke, extraordinary athlete, always got a smile on his face, cheeky, no doubt about that, and he was always fantastic to travel with. Always had a lot of time for Michael, and I suppose what made him such a great athlete and person to work with is that he always had a lot of time for you. Elite athletes are a precious beast, there's no doubt about it. And you have to accommodate that, and you have to realise that. And if they don't accommodate you, then you have to realise that, well, you know, they're under a lot of pressure. It's their life, it's their livelihood. So you have to be very wary of that. But Michael was one of those special characters that could be at the height of anxiety for him, but he'd still stop and stay alive, and he'd still throw a wave at you from across the street, from poolside. And that was his character, that was his personality, which made him very approachable and always a very likeable character. So yeah, he probably sticks out. There's quite a few like that. I could go through a few names, but it might be here for a while. Yeah, Michael's one. It's quite extraordinary, really. If you go through all the different sports, I suppose we've all got preconceived ideas of who would be a tough athlete. But by far, and the second place is a long way away. By far the toughest athlete is female gymnasts. They are all about 2'6", maybe 3'6". They're young, they're tiny, they are extraordinarily tough. There's no doubt about it. Their training regime is tough, and they just bred tough. And when you're working on those guys, they might present with chronically tight quads, for instance, and because they're so little, you dull down the pressure and the aggressiveness of your treatment, and they'll often look and shake their head and say, can you please stop wasting your time, can you please get stuck in? And it's extraordinary. You often think you're going to snap their leg in half, and while you're treating them, they're talking to the person next door and chatting away and hardly even know you're there. So they are incredibly tough athletes. And I suppose the water polo boys and girls are not too far off. Why? Wouldn't have a clue, really. But it certainly does stand out over there. It's something that you're not prepared for initially. When I went to Atlanta, you can imagine for 8 weeks, 24 hours a day, you're living with sport, and you can't get away from it. You just cannot get away from it. The energy, the hype, the adrenaline is extraordinary. When it all finishes, you jump on a plane, a chartered plane, which flies into Sydney, and you're met by hundreds and hundreds of media. Then there's interviews and so on, and believe it or not, even you get interviewed, which is quite extraordinary, and probably over the top, but you do, you get interviewed. And then you jump on another plane, and you head back to your own capital, for me, Canberra, and there's more people there, and they're wanting to interview and talk to you. Back then, in 1996, I came home to my house in Canberra, and all of a sudden I was alone. There was no one for the first time in 8 weeks. And I sat there in my extremely cold house with no one to talk to, and it was kind of extraordinary. I wasn't ready for it. It was one of those psychological things you don't get explained to you and what might happen. And believe it or not, I actually went to the mall and sat there, so there was heaps of people around me. So it did take me a week or so to get over that. So it's certainly something we've talked about with the rookies, with other teams, is that make sure you've got something going on at home. Make sure you go back to work as soon as you're physically and mentally comfortable to do so. You need to be active, because the adrenaline is extremely high, so you have to be careful of the extreme weather. For me now, of course, it's a lot more difficult to go away. When I didn't have kids, it was okay, it wasn't too bad. You go away, I miss my wife, of course, but I often think that she was quite happy when I went away. She'd go out and have a good time. But now with the kids it is difficult to go away, and you do miss them a lot. Quite often on the computer, talking to them on Skype and so on, and you really do look forward to getting home, and it's kind of extraordinary when you walk through the door of the entry to an airport and you see your my three beautiful girls race up and take you to the floor. It's great, and you don't want to let them go for quite some time, so that's certainly hard. The personal side of being away from your family for that period of time is difficult, and it gets more difficult as the years go on. So coming home, it's great. You see your family. Well, the first 3 Olympics, I was working for the Australian Institute of Sport, so very, very fortunately, it's considered as a part of our job. So when we went to Atlanta and Sydney and Athens, we were paid our same wage. So I was very, very lucky in that circumstance. Not everyone is in that fortunate situation. For Beijing, I wasn't. I'm working for myself now. I have my own clinic, and I was lucky to have 3 good years to set the clinic up and get it going. We've got plenty of people working at the clinic, so we're able to make enough money for me to go away, and I was able to still pay all the bills. But as I said previously, not everyone is in that situation, and not everyone can go away. And it is an unfortunate situation. It'd be great if that could be remedied, and the people that did go away could be paid a nominal amount, just enough so they could pay their bills at home. So there's people who have had put in the hard yards for 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 years with a sport, do get the opportunity to go to an Olympics, to see the pinnacle, to see all that work they've put in over the years with those athletes, so they can watch them perform at their highest level, at the highest competition that we currently have in sport. Living with my current wife, my only wife. It has set up its own recovery centre, which includes pools, ice bars, and a gym, for instance, strength and conditioning coaches, nutrition, and just wait for the coffees to go. Very loud. One of the funniest things I've seen in the Olympics is a Russian guy talking on. Hang on. Okay. We can't put this in, by the way. So you need to get involved with a team, a sporting team. It doesn't really matter which one. You just got to get in with sport initially. Ellie! Shut up! As soon as you leave college, right? You can't say that.